What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back into the video on the channel. And today we went to Burger King to try out their new, well, not new, they brought back some seasonal items. So we have the Ghost Pepper Whopper as well as the Ghost Pepper Chicken Fries. They also have a thing, I just didn't bother getting it, but I'm going to inform you. Anyway, you can now order their fries and onion rings in one container, which I have to pantomime with my hands for no particular reason. But it's called halvesies. So now you can get, some people can't choose between fries or onion rings. I don't know how. You're crazy because their onion rings are superior. But if you want to, you can now get them in one order, and it's called halfsies. I actually did order fries and onion rings, but when I picked up my order and said, "Hey, is everything in the bag?" and she, of course, nodded yes, but it's not. But we move. Everything's here that I wanted to try anyway. The Ghost Pepper Whopper. I got the 2-for Whopper meal, which has a original and a Ghost Pepper Whopper, as well as this. I said Ghost Pepper 46 times. Also, I have my sauces. But let's get into this. Drop a thumbs up. Anything new, of course, we're going to drop what we're doing and make sure that we can review it ASAP. So let's start off with the Ghost Pepper chicken fries. And for reference, I actually bought a 4-piece of their original Midkin fries, and that is the difference between the two. You can see this one, which is the Ghost Pepper, has that hue on it, yes, the color change, compared to this one. Other than that, let's see what the difference is. These do have a noticeable kick to them compared to their other spicy items. I think these actually are hotter than the nuggets from what I remember. There's no sauce on it this time, whereas their Ghost Pepper nuggets had a sauce. These are dry, and I mean just in general they're dry, not just the actual not having wet sauce. They're kind of dry, but at least I can tell that they're Ghost Pepper this time. For reference, I'm going to try one their original just to see what the taste difference is. Much more noticeable of a kick. But I will say this. This is just my personal opinion. If you don't like Burger King's nuggets, I wouldn't get these. Because they have that same, if you know, you know, that I'm not really a fan of. But the real question is, are these spicy? Come on, man. How you gonna give me? They gave me a 7.5 piece? Oh, sure, that's cool. All right, I'm not cool enough to get the whole one. But I have Papa John's Ranch because they didn't give me my sauces. I just wanted to try it with other sauces. The real question is, are these spicy? They're spicier than the other stuff. On a scale of 1 to 10 for me, and I have a pretty moderate spice tolerance, I would say they're probably like a 3. But for comparison, most other items that I see named Ghost Pepper are usually like a 1 or a 2. So they are hotter. Do I like these? Honestly, they're better than the original, but I personally just never been a fan of their chicken fries. Their original ones, on a scale of 1 to 10 fast food, I would give a 5. These are better in my opinion because I like spicier things. So with that being said, I will give them a 6 out of 10. I also have my own drinks. I didn't order drinks from them. They have a meal that's like $13.99 that if you get these Whoppers and a Hershey pie and fries and some chicken fries, I think it's like $14, but they didn't give me my fries. Or my zesty sauce. I really just wanted the zesty sauce. But let's get to this Ghost Pepper Whopper. What is on here? So it has the orange and black sesame seed bun because it is spooky season, as people love to call it. And then we have the crispy jalapeno chips, as well as the Ghost Pepper cheese and the Ghost Pepper queso. Of course, then you have their bacon and their standard issue Whopper patty. Let's give this a shot. Waiting for the heat. Again, I will say this. That is a lot spicier than I remember the first time, and I'm not sure if they upped the heat. I'm not saying that I think it's ridiculously spicy or anything, but I do think for people who have a low spice tolerance, that might get you. Again, my spice tolerance is moderate at best, and I notice it. On a scale of 1 to 10, same thing. I'd probably give this like a 3 or a 4, whereas most ghost pepper items I normally would have given a 1 or a 2. The other stuff on it, the crispy jalapenos do add a little bit of a kick, and the crunchy texture, almost like adding potato chips to a burger, which I do from time to time. The ghost pepper cheese as well. I do think there should be something else on there, like mayo or something, maybe a ranch or something to kind of balance that out. Because the only things I'm really getting for that is salty and a little spicy. I would have liked to have something else to balance that out, but it is a ghost pepper Whopper, so they did nail that fact. But just for my personal preference, I would rather pick this Whopper right here, which I'll get into in a second. I would give this a 6.5 out of 10. But I will be honest, I do think that things like those crispy jalapeno chips could be added to something like this and make it a lot better. What is this, you ask? This is how I order my Whopper. This is a rodeo Whopper. What I do is I ask for onion rings and barbecue sauce to go on the Whopper, and then I take all the other stuff off, which would just give you a giant rodeo burger. I'm just a bigger fan of this way, and I think that this is how every burger should come. It's more like a Southwest kind of deal. Also comes with Swiss cheese and not cheddar, as you can tell right about there. Also, pro tip, use the app. Burger King allows you to add extra for no cost with most of it. So when I asked for extra barbecue sauce, it didn't cost me extra. But you can see, they did give me extra because it's dripping all over my hand. Now, I've been on record multiple times saying I thought the rodeo burger was the best version of any Burger King burger. So getting this into a Whopper, just to me, makes it a massive W because the patty's bigger and the sandwich is bigger. You also could just not be weird like I am and order 2 rodeo burgers, but where's the fun in that? For me, one of the better things in fast food burgers is a Whopper. I don't know if it's a nostalgia. I ate a lot of Burger King as a kid, but that flame broiled taste just gets me every single time. I'll give this an 8.3 out of 10. It's in that very good category for me, and you can't change my mind otherwise. But you know what else is in that very good category? This right here. I think they caught on to the fact that people like this because they included it in the ghost pepper meal in the bundle that they have. You get one of these Hershey's pies, and everybody I know that goes to Burger King, if you go to Burger King, you rock with this pie. It used to cost $1. I don't know if it does anymore because I didn't even check. It just came with the meal, but it's a frozen or refrigerated pie, but it just hits, and it just makes the meal more complete, in my opinion. That is what it looks like on the inside if you've never seen it. Some people don't eat Burger King. I still like it for certain things. Other things, exceptionally mid. This is not one of those things. Damn, I got whipped cream on my finger, and there you go. Also on my hand. It's going to do you right every time. If you go to Burger King, make sure you get one of these. Yeah. Certain fast food desserts make you feel like everything's going to be all right. And that's one of them. Solid 9 out of 10. Fast food scale, of course. So now that I got that review out of the way, just got a little thing I want to talk about because I need to woosah this thing. I'll be honest with you. Now that I'm becoming a grumpy old man, let me be real. Fast food employers are driving me nuts. Now, I understand people can put some of the onus on me, and you are correct. In the sense of, you can't trust them to have your order right. But as a person who ate a lot of fast food as a kid, in the 90s and the 2000s, then it kind of went away from it. Then the food thing popped off and went back to it. I almost feel like the employees were better back then. Like, way better. And I also feel like, and it might be because I was young, so I'm just looking, this might be revisionist history in my head. I also feel like the employees were a lot older back then. Like, it was very common to see grown adults working in fast food places where I rarely, if ever, see that anymore. I used to see 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds working at McDonald's, working at Burger King, working at Taco Bell, and my orders were rarely, if ever, screwed up. Yes, it happened sometimes, but it was very infrequent. And again, there was a point in time in my life where I'm not joking. I ate fast food every day. Every day. And it was never as bad as what it is today. Whereas it's almost a rarity to have my order perfect at fast food places unless it's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has never screwed up my order. Every other place I've ever gone to, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Popeyes, and so on, my order is rarely if ever correct. And I feel like it would make it easier because you can't mishear me on an app. And that was always my thought process. Whereas, like, if I order on the app, here it is on paper, and then they give you the bag, right? Because I always use the apps. I use the Burger King app. I go pick it up. So the receipt is right here on the bag. So you looked at the receipt and you said, oh, everything's in here, but it's not because there's like 6 things missing. 3. But still, and a half. It's 3 things and plus the sauce. And I'm just like, how did you do that? And I understand, okay, they don't care. I get that. But is it because, like, you're just not looking? Is it because you're just like, like, even if I don't care, there's a sense of, like, there it is, and I did it. You know what I mean? I also feel like, again, it was just, maybe it's the age of people? Yes, there were teenagers that worked at fast food places, but not as common. Whereas now, when you go in there, you might find one adult in some places, but the majority of people who work there are teenagers. You know, they're 18, 19, 17-year-old young adults, and I'm not complaining and saying, oh, you should care more. I'm not even saying that. I just feel like even if I don't care, I would do a better job. Like, I don't care about a lot anyway. That sounds horrible. Look, I'll put it this way, and this is just me being completely transparent, as I always try to be. I have multiple degrees in college, right? I know people might think I'm some idiot, but I don't try to flex those things, but I got papers. I got 3 degrees. I never cared. I'm not joking. I never cared, bro. I still got a degree. Like, even if I don't care, I can do the job. You get what I'm saying? Now, I care about this job. But even in the jobs I didn't care about, I still passed. They ain't passing. Now, I went to the app. I got my money back. I don't really care about that. It's more or less I'm just, like, thinking out loud. And just speculating. Where did we go wrong? I used to go to a different Burger King when I was in high school, and all the employees were older than me. Again, I was in high school, and when I say older, I mean 10, 15 years older. And the orders were always on point. So, I don't really think that I'm not one of them boomers that's like, okay, well, you should take pride in your working. I understand, some people, but another example, I went to the Taco Bell one time. This was when I got the rolled chicken tacos. I told y'all about this, and the order was wrong. I ain't checked the bag until I got halfway home. I was at a light, and I was like, you know what, let me look in his bag. And I looked in the bag, and I was like, my tacos ain't even in here. And the whole video was about the tacos. So I turned around and went all the way back. It's not that far. It was down the street. But I went back. I walked in, and there was like probably 8 teenagers and one auntie. There's usually an auntie in the back. She chilling, and there was one auntie. And there was about 8 teenagers. And they all was just like, one dude was eating the tacos. I swear to God, I looked because you could see in the kitchen. And I'm like, I bet he eat my damn taco. And I walked up to the the register, and they all looked at me and nobody moved. The lady that was walking around the dining area, even though she wasn't the one with the on, and she wasn't the one working the register, she walked all the way to the back and she was like, I'm sorry, what do you need? Because she knew they messed up. And I was like, yeah, because I don't like doing that stuff, but at the end of the day, you pay for food, you got to get it. I'm not trying to give nobody a hard time, but at the same time, I want what I ordered. I don't think anybody disputes that. But I'm like, yeah, because you could tell she was fed up, so I was trying to be cool with her. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. They forgot half my order. She was like, what they forget now? Just like that. And she boop, 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 put all the stuff in. And then 4 seconds later, they came out with all these chicken tacos and extra. They gave me extra food and stuff like that. She was like, I'm sorry. But At the end of the day, I do think if you're like one of those young adults, and I get that Gen Z is different from millennials, and millennials are different from, we always complain about the generational gap. I think Gen X was the first ones to start be like, I don't care. They started it. Millennials are like, I really don't care. And then Gen Z walked in after Gen X started it, and millennials did it, and they took it to the next degree. And it was like, listen, I really don't care. Like, I'm not doing nothing. You know, I feel like the slacker mentality was definitely like a Gen X thing, the early 90s. Um, you watch some of those movies and stuff, and that's what it makes me think of, the mall rats era and stuff like that. Stuff that I kind of went back and watched now that I'm older. And they were the ones that kind of started that. And then millennials kind of was like, listen, I don't really care, but I'm gonna do the job. You know, like, and then Gen Z was like, I'm not even gonna show up. Nah, that's not for me. I'm not going. And it shows. That's just my opinion. Like, they only, I've never, millennials were the 2 weeks notice generation. We were the ones that was like, you know what? I don't like this job. I'm gonna go do my own thing. I quit. Here's my 2 weeks notice. Gen Z was like, you know what? I don't like this job. I quit. No 2 weeks notice. I'm out. I think I'm just leaving today. I don't care. I don't want nothing. I'm making a TikTok about this. And that's kind of what it's become. And I'm not complaining. I'm just being observational. I don't really care. But, I just want my food that I ordered. By the way, people that want to come at me and say like I'm complaining and stuff, this is kind of how I compartmentalize things. When things annoy me, I allow myself a couple of minutes to let it annoy me, and then I make myself shut up and I never speak about it again. That's how I digest the BS in life. You might want to try it. It's a tactic that I've been using for the last like 5 or 6 years. All that little stuff that irks you, you let it out. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to, you keep it in, but for me, I will allow myself to talk to myself. I can mutter, I can do it in my own brain without opening my mouth, and I allow myself to be annoyed at it for whatever amount of time, but then I get back to business. Instead of letting it bubble up, because some people, y'all act like y'all cool and stuff, oh, you extra, like, y'all need to stop leaving all that shit inside, because it's going to boil over one day, and then you're going to turn into an old angry man. I'm a happy dude for a reason, bro. I'm happy because I just allow myself to be annoyed by shit. I get trolled in comments. Sometimes I have time for it. I'll say something back, and I don't ever think about you again. You might think, oh, I ruined his day. No, you didn't. You ruined the next 2 minutes. Thank you. But guess what? I'm going back to business. And that's something that I've used for a while. So maybe try that. I'm not even joking with you. Like, you at the whatever, like when you get to the point where you can safely do that, you know what I'm saying? Don't do it in front of people. Don't do it when you're at work and you start screaming at people. Nah. But, you maybe you got to take a doo-doo. I don't know what you do. Go to the bathroom. Let it, like, be annoyed at it. 2 minutes. I learned that mentality from football, believe it or not, because when you have a bad game or you lose, one of the things that you do is you watch the film, and then they have this, like, saying, it's not a real thing, but burn the tape. And that's where that comes from. Like, all right, we're gonna watch that film, and then you're gonna just, like, it never happened after that. You're gonna take in the coaching, you're gonna take in what the mistakes you made, and then short memory, get back to work. And I kind of learned it from that. You also have to deal with a lot of crap as an athlete, because a lot of coaches are jerks and they be saying stuff, and you just kind of, there wasn't no transfer portal back then, bro. you had to just deal with it. It was what it was. Now coaches yell at you, you transfer, I'm out, I'm going to Colorado, I'm playing Coach Prime. So anyway, Ghost Pepper Whopper, these mid, but I had to try the new items for y'all. I just don't really think much of them. We back tomorrow, more content, man. I love y'all. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.